Good morning. What are we cooking today? A dal, Nigella's chocolate tahini bread, and a rye stout loaf, which I'm very excited about. It's my first time trying to make that, so I've got no idea how it will turn out, but it's good to experiment. Oh, I learned a lot from the last video. No, actually, we'll talk about that later. Just get my tea sorted. Let's start with this rye and stout loaf. It's meant to be just rye flour, but when I did 100% rye, it is very dense, heavy and squat, and that can be nice, but I do like the rye and white. It just has a little bit more rise. Using the rye paddle, 250 grams of each. This is Marriage's dark rye. I've already spilled some. Okay, 250 white flour. Oh, keep spilling it. So 2 teaspoons sugar, 2 teaspoons salt, 2 tablespoons of oil. I'm going with extra virgin olive oil. Right, it would be water now for this recipe, but we are going to use stout. Oh, I've not opened that very well. I'm feeling a little bit slow today. I slept okay, but not brilliantly, not my best night. I don't track my sleep or anything because I just know that will be really bad for my brain. Yeah, that probably with the bubbles is about 330. So I am just going to add another 10 ml. Okay, we're going for aiming for 340. Right, just check my ingredients list because it's so sad if you put the pan into the bread maker and you realise you've forgotten an ingredient. I did that with yeast once. So of course the bread didn't rise, and it's just, you open it up, the bread maker up full of expectation, and it's just really disappointing. Right, flour, sugar, oil, salt, not water, stout, yeast. Okay. So the recipe says 2 teaspoons of yeast. I'm going to go in with 1.5. Oh, I just got some yeast in the little crack in the plastic. And that should be menu 12. Hopefully we'll have a nice rye loaf in 3 hours and 30 minutes. All right, what is next? I'll tell you what, this is my second long video and I learned a lot from the first one. I cooked beans in the Instant Pot and chose pulse pressure release. I won't do that again because the Instant Pot was in the background constantly going psh, psh, and that's probably a little bit annoying anyway, but because I was talking over it, it was almost impossible when I was editing the video to bring that sound down, and it was quite jarring. Live and learn, you can only figure this stuff out by doing it. So I'm sure I will learn more stuff from this video. It's all part of the fun. All right, the dal. Got quite a few dal recipes on the blog. We do love a dal. And this one is it's a recipe where it's really, really old. And someone got in touch because when we redesigned our website, we hid recipes with really, really old pictures. And I just thought, oh, no one will miss this recipe. I'll get to it eventually. And I never did. But someone got in touch and they were like, hey, where's that coconut lime dal recipe? So I thought, okay, I will make it, take a nice photograph, put it back on the blog. And I forgot how good this recipe is. I mean, all the dal recipes on the blog are good. And I'm not saying that with a big head. They're not mine. But I'm just really loving this one at the moment. It's a bit different. And I'll talk you through it as I make it. Right. So we start with some shallots. Ooh, I'll get the Instant Pot heating up. Which oil do I want? Go with rapeseed. I've also made sure I've got access today to my dishwasher and my cupboards. Ooh. So this dal is a bit different because it's got tomato in it and coconut. And I do love a coconut dal. Anna Jones has probably my favourite dal recipe of all time. It's sweet potato dal. She calls it in her book a killer dal, and that's almost underselling it. It's so lovely. And that's where I learnt to put coconut in dal. But we've also got Tarka dal on the blog. So the sort of dal you would get in an Indian restaurant, the yellow, bright, ooh, speaking of lentils, I'm using two kinds in this dal, and I want to get the chana dal. Is that chana? Is that right? The split yellow peas. I want to get them soaking, not for long, but just to start them off. Right, where are you? Huh. We don't have many, right? Okay, you can totally just use the orange lentils, but I do like these yellow ones too. They just have a bit of texture. They take longer to cook. How many do I want? I'm sort of following my recipe, but also sort of not. You just can't go wrong with this sort of dish, and if it's not working, you just keep tweaking it until it does work. Right, I want maybe 50 or 100 grams. If you're thinking, gosh, this woman, she weighs everything. Yes, yes. I've spoken loads of times before about how Cole, my husband, is type 1 diabetic. So weighing just really helps with that. Come on, 100, there we go, 101. Right, I'll just get these soaking while I chat. I think the recipe says something like 200 and, where are we? 250. So I've got 100 there, but I want more dal. I think I'm going to go in with 300 and then 400 total. I am just going to put some water in these. I've made this dal and use these lentils all the time, washed and unwashed, and it doesn't make a huge difference to the final dish in my opinion, but I just want to get a bit of water in there and then I'll drain them off. It goes really cloudy actually. So I do think it is nice to give them a bit of a rinse. But with these lentils, I certainly don't rinse them until the water runs clear, because that would just be there all day. I know some people might disagree with that. Oh, can I show you? Oh, the other dal that we have on the blog, the dal recipe, is Deshum's House Black Dal. And that, of all the recipes on the blog, that one is by far and away the most popular one because it's amazing. Now, I tend to think of dal as like quite a balanced dish. I try not to use the word healthy too much because I just think, I don't know what is and isn't healthy, but very nutritious, very balanced. And that dal has quite a lot of butter and quite a lot of cream, but it's a really special dal. And also I have made it with way less butter and no cream, and it's still delicious. But yeah, that one is special. I do find though it uses the, I don't know how you pronounce it, urad dal, the black lentils, which are gorgeous, but they take forever to cook. So I do find that the Instant Pot really helps with that, because when I cook them on the hob like they instruct you to, I mean, I could be there for hours and they don't always soften, but pressure cooking does get them to soften. And this isn't just with old lentils, this is like perfectly fresh lentils I just bought. Same thing. I just can't really get them to soften by boiling them. Now it may well be the lentils that I'm using. I mean, just because I've bought them in the last week or so doesn't mean that they're really fresh, does it? When I met Cole, when was this? 2009. We went to an Indian restaurant and he ordered, oh, what's the curry he loves? Oh, it won't come to mind. I can't remember. It's the one with lentils. And I said, oh, I don't like lentils. And I don't know why I said that, because I'd never tried them. And it's absolute nonsense. I love lentils. Oh, it's really annoying me that I can't think of the curry. Dansak. It's kind of sweet. And when I read the description, I always sort of bypassed it. I thought, oh no, I don't want that one. Oh, it's one of the best curries. So I'm using banana shallots. You could just use onions, doesn't really matter. And I'm just slicing them, because I'm too lazy to dice them. I hope this is focused. Yeah, I think so. Come on, I haven't peeled them very well. There we go. The nice thing about this is, I know I've got the lentils soaking, but they don't need to soak for hours. You don't need to prepare for this the day before. You don't have to soak them at all, really. What other dals have we got? I think that's it, but yeah, I do love a dal. Anna Jones's sweet potato dal that I mentioned earlier. She roasts sweet potato and puts it on top, and then she makes a coconut chutney, which I never bother with. But I'm just too lazy. But the dal itself is really good. Oh, yes. I don't think this one's on the blog, but Mira Soda has a daily dal recipe, and she uses tomatoes, and it's just a lovely thing to add to a dal. I'm going to add tin tomatoes to this one, but also some fresh tomatoes. You don't need both, but it just makes it like a really gorgeous orangey colour, really warm and lovely. Right, I'm going to go in with the onions now. And I feel like it's a bit dark in here, so I'm just going to be quiet while these sizzle, so in the edit I can bring the sound down. I did also take the temperature down to level 1, just so it wasn't quite so... I think it needs to go back up to level 2. Trying not to whack the spoon on the side of the pan like I really want to, but just making a hash of it. And I explained in the last video that I use a specific board just for garlic, because I don't want the taste of garlic getting in other food. Oh, ginger. This recipe requires ginger. I've found frozen ginger keeps the longest for me, requires no maintenance, so I should have got that out of the fridge earlier to defrost, but it doesn't take too long. Fridge, I meant freezer. You can buy chopped frozen ginger. The Ocado stuff has long gone, so what I do is then just buy the whole root, peel it, and then chop it into chunks, and then just using the same bag. Oh, let's get some more. The reason why I keep it fairly big is because sometimes, I did used to chop it finely and then stick it straight in my dish, but sometimes, I've just set it off again. Sometimes I want to grate the ginger. I want it really, really fine for marinades and stuff. So just having it a bit larger makes it more versatile. I feel like the sizzling is a bit calmer today. So hopefully, I had such a job of editing the sound in the last video with all the noise going on. And I thought just make it a bit easier for yourself in the next one. But this is a kitchen, it's not a studio, so there's supposed to be noise, isn't there? Actually, my brother is a content creator, and he had people from Gardener's World, the BBC programme, come round to his house to do a bit of filming. He's a really big content creator. And he told me that the camera people said to everyone, shush a minute, and they recorded just the sound of the room noise, because you do need that to make the footage feel natural. I didn't realise. I thought you just wanted to squash every sound really, apart from the voice or whatever you're filming, the chopping or whatever. But no, they added a bit of room noise into the footage, which I found really interesting. Okay, I've gone with 4 cloves of garlic because I think you do want garlic in a dal. You won't especially taste it because it's cooked. In a tarka dal, like you get at an Indian restaurant, boy, is that garlicky. Sometimes Cole will go out for an Indian with his friends, and if I've joined, next day, we both stink. If he's gone on his own, I'm like, oh, the garlic. He always goes for tarka dal because it's so delicious. But I think they layer up the garlic in that dish, so it's probably in the dal itself, but then they top it with like a garlicky, probably ghee, and you can really taste the garlic. It's wonderful, but it's stinky. Right. Really, the garlic should go in last after the ginger, but it'll be fine. The Instant Pot isn't very hot. Right, and I shall just cut the ginger on the same board. I didn't cut the garlic perfectly, so there's little caterpillars of garlic. Can I show you? You really don't need to wait for the ginger to defrost for too long. It's quite easy to slice. I always have to tell myself to do the claw. It's not natural for me, but I don't want to lose a fingertip. There was a chef on Reddit actually who said he's been a chef for who knows how many decades, and he doesn't do the claw. It's not comfortable for him. He hasn't had any terrible accidents. See, had I taken this out a bit earlier, it would have been a little bit easier to cut, but it's fine. Really thin little wafers. So this dal, I think it'll make quite a lot. Like the Cuban black beans in the last video, it will feed us for a good while. And we'll probably have it with I've got parathas in the freezer. It's good with naan bread. It's good with pitta, wholemeal pitta. As with the Cuban black beans, this makes a really good side dish, but it is also perfectly decent for the main event as well. Bit of yogurt on top, maybe some chutneys. We've got Gita's lime and chili premium chutney. Oh, that stuff is wonderful. Right, I feel all right talking over this today because it's not quite so loud. So that Gita's chutney, just breaking up the caterpillars. My poor knife skills. That Gita's chutney, we received it from Ocado. We didn't choose it, but they were out of mango chutney. And I thought, oh, I don't know about this. I don't know how I feel about the lime pickle in an Indian restaurant. I do eat it now, but I do find it like, ooh, quite pungent. And we got this lime chutney and I thought, oh, I don't know. Oh, it's delicious. It's really, really good. It's so good that I make sure I have backups of my backups in the cupboard. Let me see if I can find it. I feel like an advert. Premium lime and chili chutney. Oh, let me dry my hands before I touch my camera. Yes, glorious. It's just got a little bit more tang to it than a mango chutney, which is delicious, but really quite sweet. I remember being at a conference many years ago, and Colin and I went to an Indian restaurant for dinner, and it was really nice. It was in Nottingham, and I remember saying, this mango chutney is incredible. It tastes of mango. And I was talking to the waiter about it, and it turned out it was apricot. Actually, thinking about ginger and garlic, for a while I made the paste, ginger and garlic paste from the Dishoom cookbook, and all that involves is basically putting ginger and garlic separately in the food processor with oil, and then when you want to cook, instead of having to chop the garlic and ginger, you just spoon it out. And if you're doing a lot of Indian cooking, it's brilliant. It saves so much time. But I don't know. I just got out of the habit of doing it, and I don't mind chopping ginger and garlic. But yeah, they're a really good idea. I can see why they use them in restaurants. Also, the thing is, they last maybe a couple of weeks, which is fine, but that's a decent amount of time. It's not like a couple of days, but I just found that sometimes I would go to the effort and then maybe I just wasn't really cooking a lot with garlic or ginger, so it would almost be like a waste. And with garlic, you've got to be so careful as well because botulism, you don't want to poison yourself. So I just got out of the habit. Right, I shall show you. We've got a little bit of colour going on from level 2 saute in the Instant Pot. I'll show you. But the the frozen ginger sort of got rid of some of that. So these orange lentils have absorbed most of the water, so I'm just going to give them a bit of a top up. Okay, what is next? I think it's things like mustard seeds. Getting some spices in there. Let me just check. 2 teaspoons of cumin seeds and 2 teaspoons of black mustard seeds. Oh, I'm supposed to bash them. Okay, fine. I'm going to go in with just a little bit more because I really increased the lentils, didn't I, from 250 to 400, so just a bit more. You don't want a bland dal. Right, black mustard seeds. Oh, I've not opened these in ages. I know you're supposed to replace your spices every few months or something. I really don't. I'm going to use the same spoon. Let's go with another one. There we go. Okay, so they go. Oh, yep, bash them. Oh, right, then they go in. Just give them a bash. I actually don't bash them. I sort of roll the. I find that they fly out if you bash them, so I just tend to crush them against the side of the pestle or mortar. I'm not sure which is which. Oh, I can really smell them. Really what I should have done was the cumin seeds first and then the mustard seeds, but never mind. They will start to heat up, and I'm going to do the same thing I did last time with the beans. Saute stuff, get it going, bring it up to a bubble, and then just leave it on slow cook for the rest of the day. People are in two minds about slow cooking, especially versus pressure cooking. Some people say that when you slow cook, you're just leaching out the flavour into the room. I don't know. I know Kenji on Serious Eats did like pressure cooker versus slow cooker. And I think generally, I don't know if it's because I'm in the Instant Pot subreddit, but the Instant Pot tends to come out on top for pressure cooking. But I still really love slow cooking in it. And it means I don't have to finish the dish, put it in the fridge, get it back out for dinner. It's pure laziness. If I leave it all day slow cooking, I can just come to it at dinner time and dish up what I want. It's back again. I don't need to do any more bashing, but I do need to measure more spices. Right. 2 teaspoons of turmeric, chili powder, one chili powder, and 1 garam masala. Oh, garam masala. Okay. Yeah, all kinds of garam masala. And on the dishoom recipe, somebody wrote to me and said they made the dishoom house black dal. It was nice, but when they made dishoom's garam masala, it really elevated it. And I thought, oh, why haven't I done that? There was a reason. It's really involved to make this garam masala. You've got to get a load of spices, and I wanted to make it absolutely faithfully. You can either fry them or roast them, but I feel like the cookbook said roasting resulted in a fuller flavour, so I did. It also said if you can, add rose petals and saffron, so I did. It's absolutely wonderful. It really is so much better than a store-bought garam masala. However, if you can't be bothered, it's completely understandable. I only did it because I've got a blog. I also had to buy a spice grinder. Well, I mean a coffee grinder, because we have, I think at the time we had one and it was a manual one, but you can't use the coffee grinder for spices and then expect to have nice coffee going forwards. So I bought another grinder, and I have only made the one batch. I don't get through it that often. I don't get through it that quickly. Oh, what was that? But yeah, it's a lovely thing to have. Mine isn't super fresh, but I still feel like it elevates the dish anyway. Right. That's lovely. Okay, I think 1 teaspoon of this. So maybe more like 1.5. Oh, I need more measuring spoons. Right, this one had salt. I'm just going to give it a little wipe, a little rinse. You've gone very quiet. Two teaspoons of turmeric, so I'm going to go in with 2 heaped teaspoons. Oh, I don't have 2 heaped teaspoons. Bear with. I can spot it a mile off because of the colour. Phew! Right. Cut a tiny corner off. Come on, can't get in there. Ooh, the bread maker is starting to knead. This is a bit embarrassing. I cut the tiniest hole in it, that's why. Right. Possibly not the best day to wear a white t-shirt. Gently, gently. Actually, I'm going to go with 1 heaped and 1 level, just because turmeric's quite earthy. You don't want to overdo it. I was talking to my friend about this. We don't love those turmeric lattes. Is it just turmeric and milk? It just feels a bit... I don't know, I'd rather have a coffee. The only trouble with decanting things is now I think, oh, and when I get to the bottom of this turmeric, I'll remember to replace it, and I don't remember, so I should write a reminder somewhere. Ooh, I should also remind myself about the 400 grams of lentils because I want to calculate carbs later. Right, bear with. Chili powder. Do I have any? I should do. There's the yeast. Just a little bit. A little bit more. Right, we'll just toast the spices for a bit. The Instant Pot has gone very quiet. There we go. Oh, I'll show you. It's it's pungent. It's really sticking to the bottom, so we won't leave it too long. I don't want to burn the spices. And I will just drain the lentils. Hold on. I'll drain the lentils. This recipe calls for a tin of plum tomatoes and a tin of coconut milk. I have recently been using creamed coconut, which I don't have a problem with emulsifiers, but creamed coconut is 100% coconut. And then you mix it with water and you get the equivalent of 2 tins, or you just use half of it and then store the rest in the fridge. It keeps for ages. The only difference is the texture is ever so slightly grittier. Now, I did have a go at blending it to see if that made a difference, and it was negligible. I don't mind a bit of texture, it doesn't bother me, but just so you're aware, it's not super smooth like a coconut milk. This has been in the fridge for ages. What I should do is chop it up small and mix it with hot water. I'm not going to do that. I'm really lazy. And also, when it's fridge cold, it's really scary to chop up. You have to, it's like cutting a big butternut squash. You really have to apply pressure. And I always feel like I'm going to slip and cut off some fingers. So I just know once this gets nice and hot with the water in it, water stock, I can't remember, but the coconut will eventually melt. It'll be fine. Oh no, I should have got my tomatoes out earlier. Where are you? There we go. Right, just check my recipe. So yeah, coconut milk, water, 400 ml, tin of plum tomatoes, and then the lentils. Fine. Just let the spices toast for a little bit longer. See how they've absorbed all the water already? They've been soaking for a while because I've been chattering. You really don't need to soak them. Oops. I managed to drain and rinse the lentils with no loss of lentils until the last second. Not that bad. Okay, in with the tomatoes. I'm just crushing them with a spoon, but not too hard, because occasionally they can squirt. Oh, I think we're all right. Right, I'm just going to turn up the heat on this to get it bubbling. I'll show you what it looks like. Or should we have a peep at the rye dough? I asked Claude about the stout in the rye. Basically, I was like, Claude, why can't I just use stout? And it was talking about the alcohol, and I said, hold up, I'm using alcohol-free stout or low alcohol stout. And it said, oh, okay, that's different. Go for it. There's my clock. Right, let's have a look. That's a nice looking dough ball. Oh, salt. We are going to need salt. I remember seeing a video. I feel like it was, I can't remember who it was. And they were complaining about recipes that specified, like this recipe, a teaspoon of this, a tablespoon of that, and salt to taste. And they were like, salt to taste, salt to taste. But the thing is, it's really difficult to specify an amount of salt because we use different salt. I buy kosher salt, which isn't really a big thing in the UK. And I buy it because I read Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat, and I haven't read it in ages, but I remember thinking, okay, you sold me on kosher salt. So that's what I use. But if I specify the amount I use and somebody uses a fine sea salt or table salt, the dish will probably be inedible. So salt to taste is fine by me. Okay, do I season with salt? And oh, I start with 1 teaspoon. Reduce if using table salt. Alrighty. I'm going to eyeball it. You do need quite a lot of salt for lentils and beans, I feel, but this dish will go probably feed us 6 times, so 3 times each. Starting to bubble, the coconut's starting to melt. Just want to crush these tomatoes before the lentils go in, just a bit easier. I don't know if this is true, but I remember reading years ago that tinned plum tomatoes are A grade tomatoes and chopped are B grade. I'm sure if you've got a really delicate palate, I mean, I just would never be able to tell the difference. Oh, this dish was made with chopped and not plum. But I do tend to buy plum. I don't know if it's for that reason or not. It's what I buy. For someone who loves food and has had a blog, a food blog, for so long. I don't have a very delicate palate. I'm not very fussy. And Col isn't either, actually. He will claim that he's a super taster to get out of eating anchovies and Brussels sprouts, but he's not fussy either, and I'm really glad. I can pretty much cook anything and he'll eat it. Sometimes he'll say, I don't love this. For example, last night I made a dish that I have made a video for it. It's tuna pasta with cavolo nero and fresh tomatoes and garlic. It's one of my all-time favourite dishes. But recently I've been making it with mackerel, and he doesn't love the strong oily fishes. So I'm using mackerel in olive oil. Oh, I'll show you actually. Come here, you. So mackerel in olive oil, but then I'm also adding a tin of tuna for extra protein. And he did enjoy this last night. So I'm really glad. It's cheaper than tuna in olive oil. But both are lovely, but it's just good to get some oily fish into your diet, apparently. Right, I'm just going to go in with the lentils now. It's just starting to bubble, it will be fine. So then I'm going to let it bubble, come to a boil and simmer for at least 15 minutes, just to make sure that the lighter coloured split peas cook through. Because occasionally when you slow cook, like sometimes it doesn't reach high enough temperatures to really soften them. I don't know if you do this, like have to get every last lentil or grain of rice out. I was brought up like my mum saying, you don't waste a single grain of rice. And I just always have to use them all up, apart from those lost ones in the sink. Okay, right, we're going to need a bit more time. I love all the different colours of the dal. I'll show you in just a sec. This is like, because of the tomatoes and the garam masala, this is more of like an orangey brown dal. Tarka dal is usually bright yellow. Dishoom's black dal is a deep dark, reddy sort of brown. Anna Jones's is a similar colour to this, but a bit less red. Let me show you. Oh, I love them all. You can see my big slices of garlic. I need a pee, I'll be right back. Oh, I can hear that pot bubbling away. Oh, yes. Okay. We'll let that simmer. Might need to turn the heat down in a sec so the lentils don't catch on the bottom. Yeah. I'm going to go down to 2. Just looks so warming and nourishing. I know I shouldn't whack the spoon, but I can't help it. Right, I'll show you. If I leave it at 3 or 4, the lentils will catch on the bottom. I think we also might need a bit more liquid. So, thank you. I like my dals fairly thick. When you get tarka dal in an Indian restaurant, it tends to be quite thin and soupy. It's delicious, but I definitely like them on the thicker side. I think we went in with just over 2 tins of water, didn't we? So about 850 ml. I think we could put in a bit more. We can just tweak it as the day goes on. More salt. If it's, hold on. If it's on the bland side, I don't think it will be because of the spices and the onions and the garlic and the ginger, but I sometimes add a bit of vegetable stock powder. Where is it? This one. But I don't think this is going to need it. I think this is just a water, coconut and tomato. Let me double check. Oh, yeah. Then later on, we'll add lime juice, get that acid in there. Lemon, it's usually lemon, and lemon really lifts a dal. But I love that this one has lime. It's a bit different. And then chopped coriander. You can leave it out if you are not a coriander / cilantro person. I love it. I don't have fresh, I've got frozen in my freezer. Yeah, okay, nice. That is on its way. I can start to think about Nigella's chocolate tahini banana bread. Let me just do a bit of tidying. Oh, I might put some spinach in here too. I've got frozen spinach. And I'll put that in towards the end. It comes in these sort of pucks. I might put in maybe 3 or 4 of those just to up the veg count. See, this is level 2 and it's quite furious. Oh, I think we're going to turn it down to 1. All right, you calm down. Okay, Nigella's chocolate tahini bread. Banana bread, excuse me. It is lovely. It is an absolutely cracking recipe. It does make quite a small loaf, and got both of my loaf tins. So these are both 450 gram or 1 pound loaf tins. This one is very old and I don't really use it anymore. I need to replace it, and I try to replace it with this one, 450 gram loaf tin from Lakeland. How can they both be 450 grams? I feel like this is really tiny. It fits inside. It fits inside this one. And I just know that a lot of my loaf recipes that make a smaller loaf, because I do have a bigger 2-pounder. Got these boys too, even bigger. I think this is a kilo. I know that a lot of my smaller loaves would not fit into this. They would be too big. However, this recipe does make a smaller loaf. So we don't need you. And oh, it's calmed down a bit now. We'll just leave that. You can make this vegan as well. And I have done for my friend. And I think Nigella says it doesn't rise quite as much, but it still tastes great, which is 100% true. However, I will be adding an egg because I'm not vegan, but just know that this is a recipe that is good if veganized. Right, 2 large ripe bananas. Oh yes, when I started to make this, you're supposed to weigh the bananas with the skin on, I think, but I didn't. So I was using way too much banana. Didn't matter. It still turned out great. It is a forgiving recipe. Yeah, if you look at the ingredients, it's got 85 grams of sugar total, dark brown and caster, and then 60 grams of flour. So you can make this gluten-free as well by using rice flour, but only 60 grams. So it is a diddy recipe. But I am going to use plain flour. I'm going to use Marriage's golden wholemeal, which I am always going on about. But I do love a golden flour. You've got more fibre, but it's not as heavy as a whole wheat flour. And I use it in place of white, and I just love it. Okay, tahini. I'm sure I've got tahini. Oh, I hope I've got tahini. Oh, I do. Oh, I've not used this in forever. I don't know if you do this, but I know I'm supposed to read through the recipe before I start, but I never do. I'm going to now, so I don't make a fool of myself. So it's the usual wet ingredients in one bowl, dry ingredients in another. Yeah, and so the sugar is going in with the wet ingredients, as it should. Right, I think the trouble with using two bowls is then they take up all the room in the dishwasher, so I'm just wondering, I think I can use smaller bowls. I think I can get away, excuse me, I think I can get away with these two. So, I noticed that in the last video, I say right so a lot. 2 hours and 9 minutes for the bread. Oh, this is thickened. It's not sticking to the bottom. I just want to make sure that those split peas cook through. 2 ripe bananas, approximately 250 grams. Something I found when I made banana bread before. One time I was really lazy about mashing the bananas, and the bread came out looking just a bit sort of sad, almost a bit chalky in texture. That's 96 grams, that one banana. Oh, am I going to be a bit shy? Hold up. Oh, right. I changed the recipe a bit. You're supposed to weigh the bananas with their skins on, but I made several loaves before I realised this. I've listed the original ingredient quantities, but I used 250 grams of overripe bananas weighed without skins. Because of this, I reduced the sugar to 55 grams. Ooh, 35 cast at 20 dark brown, otherwise the loaf is quite sweet. That sounds reasonable. I will do that again. I will finish my banana anecdote in a sec. Just want to concentrate. 196. I am going to follow my version of the recipe, use less sugar and then freeze the rest of the banana. No, I'll probably use the rest of the banana in a protein shake later. I probably will freeze it. Oh, should have got a bag out first. Never mind. Okay. 245. You don't have to be this precise. 248. 250. You see, you should read the recipe first. I did not follow my own advice. I did read the recipe, but I didn't read the notes. Oh, 1 minute to go. Oh, there we go. Right. I will show you what this looks like now. I'm just going to have a little taste of a split pea first to check that they are not rock hard. It's hard to find them. It's definitely going to need more salt. The split peas are still hard. Right, a bit longer saute. Oh, yes. Right, I reckon a bit longer, 10-15 minutes, just get them soft and then start the slow cook. And a bit more water too. This might be a bit noisy, but what can you do? Oh, it definitely needs more salt. Oops. I'm really hoping this footage comes out okay. Last time I did this sort of video, my second camera was like really in view, so I had to zoom in on this one, and it just felt a bit sort of claustrophobic. Again, live and learn. All right, thank you. Back to the bananas. When I was lazy about mashing them, bread didn't turn out great. Now I mash them until they're really sort of glossy. I think it's to do with the sugars breaking down, I'm not sure, but I am not lazy about it anymore. Right, I'm just going to deal with this little bit of banana. This bag has only had bread in it, or muffins, so that's fine for it to house a banana for a bit. Thank you. Oh, how bananas now. Our groceries are coming tomorrow. And we shop with Ocado, and I won't say too much about it because if I start, I won't stop. I really, really love Ocado. We've shopped with them for a few years now, and I'm quite fussy, and they just never let me down. I love them. Right. Just notice my batteries are saying 1%. Oh, batteries run out. Okay, I need to swap batteries. I'll be back. I feel like I need to improve this recipe on my blog. I did not make it clear that if you're using 250 grams, you can reduce the sugar. Okay. Something I've tried to do with the recipes on the blog is make sure that you can just look at the method, and that has the ingredients and the quantity, so you don't have to go back and forth between the ingredients and the method. All right, let's smash these bananas. I'll show you what I mean by lazy mashing and mashing to the point where they're all glossy. Oh, as an aside, we finished watching Narcos last night. That's a good TV show. And I'm not going to say any more because I saw someone on YouTube talking about it and they said the 5 words that I dread. This isn't a spoiler, but because you know whatever comes out of their mouth next is going to be a spoiler. Maybe it's a little spoiler, but it's still a spoiler. And I get really upset about spoilers. And that's why if there's a film I want to see, I try not to watch the trailer for it. But yeah, it was great. Okay, so this is lazy mashing. Not lazy, but just sort of squashing them a bit. And they still look like bananas, but now I'll go for it. All that time at the gym is paying off. Yeah, now I'm quite keen to see, I mean, of course they did that dramatization, may not have happened at the beginning of every episode, but I am keen to see like how much of it was not accurate, but based on real life. Oh, got me on my elbow. Oh, this t-shirt is not going to fare well. Oh, it's really pretty. I just don't want the lentils to stick and burn on the bottom. I think I'll get the lid. Starting to get a bit excitable. I should really warm the oven up now, but I know I'm going to be chattering and making this for a little while, so I won't do it just yet. 170 degrees, so on the lower side. I will pop whatever that is in Fahrenheit into the video. It was midday. I was hoping to finish this before lunch. Last time it went on into the afternoon and basically took up most of the day filming. Can you hear that? It's really really going for it. So that's level 2. I do want it to cook though. I want those top. I want those lentils to soften. No, excuse me, those split peas. Oh, that's really hot. Again, I'm going to complain about this. I wish there was a 1.5. 1 is so low. 2 is really furious now. So I'm thinking with the lid, 1 should be okay. All right, let me show you these shiny bananas. Tell you what, something I didn't realise before I made videos. Holding something up to the camera and getting it in the centre and in focus is a skill I do not possess. Every time I show something to the camera, I'm like, ooh. And really, I need to just be confident with it and leave it there, because that's quite jarring. Because what I see is the opposite. My brain never adjusts. I always move it too far and then the other way. Just, never learn. All right, these are sort of shiny now. Okay, 50 grams of tahini. Clock does a little changeover. I don't know why. It makes an almighty noise at 20 past 11 and then again just after midday when it goes from AM to PM. All right, 50 grams of tahini. I have not used this tahini in forever, so I think it's going to have separated. Yes, it has separated. That's fine. Okay, that was a bit stressful. We had the battery issue, and I think it's because today is a bit warmer, and so the battery's depleted more quickly. And then I ran out of space on my memory cards. Won't bore you with all the details, but I think you can probably see quite a bit of time has elapsed. My bananas have gone a bit brown, but it doesn't matter because it's a chocolate banana loaf. And Cole said, all of these problems are solvable. And he's right, but it's not cheap to solve them. Bigger memory cards, a more powerful computer. What I really need is one viral video, which is never going to happen on this channel. And then I can get the Mac Studio of my dreams. Loads of memory, loads of hard drive space. All right, so what I did while I had some time, I covered up a mark on my face from having a spot. I weighed some ingredients to prepare. I stirred my tahini. I had a look at my Ocado shop. I took in a parcel for a neighbour. All right, I'm really hungry. All right, okay, let's get back to it. We were weighing out wet ingredients. Oh, we're supposed to have lunch in about 10 minutes. We're just going to make it work. And I thought, why didn't this happen last? I did this sort of video a couple of weeks ago. And it's because I did a session before lunch and that happened to fit on the memory card. Grabbed the files, cleared the cameras, started again, and it just happened that this one went on a bit longer. All right, 50 grams of tahini. I knew I'd learn something new today. Testing the limits of the technology. 50 grams. Oh, you distracted me, and now we've got 54 grams. But that's fine. Oh, I'm just filming. But yeah, I'd like to know.
There's a feature called handoff.
Handoff? What's that? That sounds tricksy. We're just discussing the the issues. Oh, okay. Oh, I feel my stress levels went up a bit there. All right, so starting the slow cook. I have not tested the lentils, but I am positive that they are fine. And this can just cook away now. I mean, you could eat this right now, but I'm just going to let it cook. The lid slightly ajar so it can thicken. Right, I've gone in with a touch too much tahini, but I think that'll be fine. What's next? 1 large egg, vegetable oil. I measured out, I'm using olive oil. £60 ml. Just any sort of neutral oil. Oh, we've taken in a few parcels from my neighbour recently, which is totally fine. I don't mind doing it at all. They've taken parcels for us. And she brought round a card, that sweet little card with the flour, chocolates, and beeswax wrap. She didn't need to do that. That's so nice. Okay, an egg. It says a large egg, and this is a small egg. It's a really small egg. I think it'll be fine. And I have made this without the egg before to make it vegan, so it'll be all right. The sugar, I've measured out 35 grams of golden caster sugar and 20 grams of soft brown sugar. No, not soft brown, dark brown sugar. That stuff really clumps together, and it was almost like scraping up a tough peanut butter. I love cameras, but there's so much to remember when setting them up, and I always get it wrong. Watched a wonderful video this week. Gerald, God, my brain. Gerald Undone and Mark Bennett together in one video. Gerald's final, well, Mark Bennett was reviewing the camera, but Gerald was doing all his tests, and oh, it really made me laugh. The first comment, or the top comment, was, "Is Gerald at gunpoint?" Because he's supposedly retired. No, that was such a fun video. Cole was like, "What are you laughing at?" It's really cracked me up. Okay, in with the sugar. Yeah. 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Oh, can I be? But I'm not going to measure it. I'm just going to. I can sense I'm getting a bit hungry and angry. Okay. Oh, I see. I did say, see notes about increasing the banana and reducing the sugar. Okay. Might be a good idea to get the oven on now. 170 and 150 if you've got a fan oven. Seems quite low. My recipe, not my recipe. It's Nigella's recipe. actually, so I've already said you can veganize this recipe. She's got another vegan cake, chocolate cake recipe that's very good. When I first tried to make a vegan cake for my sister-in-law, I made a vanilla sponge for her birthday and decorated it. And when the sponge came out of the oven, it looked amazing. And I watched it. Within seconds, it just deflated. And it was so sweet. And because I used vegan margarine, it tasted margarine-y, of course. And I just really hated that cake. And everyone else, I don't know if they were being kind, but they said, oh yeah, it's nice, it's nice. But I will eat any food, but I cannot stand the taste of margarine. Even as a kid, I was fussy as a kid, but now I'll eat anything. And yeah, it tasted margarine. And I just haven't had much luck with vegan baking until Nigella's chocolate cake, which I will link to in the blog. And that is a really good recipe. It reminds me of Samin Nosrat's chocolate midnight cake. The only thing is she uses coconut butter, which is different to coconut oil. She uses that in the icing and it sets hard. So then when you cut the cake when it's cold, you need a sharp hot knife, otherwise you end up squashing the cake. But it's a really good recipe. And yeah, this tahini bread is fine without an egg too. Okay, now I need the dry ingredients. I'll just put you there. 60 grams of rice flour or alternative flour. I don't think I've used golden flour before in this. That came out weird. I don't think I've used golden flour before in this recipe. Yep, still recording. I'm just going to check the battery levels on my microphone. Yeah, they're all right. Okay. 60. 61. Maybe with the technology mishaps, it will all be timed quite nicely with the bread. 54 minutes to go, so possibly. Okay. 25 grams of cocoa powder. I feel like I should sieve this. Right, 25 grams. I've zeroed the scale. Got all sorts of cocoa powder. I've got raw cacao. I've got this Menier stuff, which is quite good. I've got a Marks and Spencer baking one, I think. The raw cacao doesn't have as deep a colour as this. Oh, and I recently bought Dutch processed from Buy Whole Foods online. 26, that's fine. You're running out of room again. I do think you need to sieve cocoa powder. It does tend to clump. Use too small a sieve. I always try and use the smallest thing I can get away with so I don't take up as much room in the dishwasher, but sometimes it comes back to bite me. Okay, 1/4 teaspoon of fine sea salt. I'm going to go with a big 1/4. It's kosher salt. 1/2 teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda. Okay, I'm just going to check that I've got all the ingredients. Is that sound? I think they're doing work outside. Bananas, tahini, vegetable oil, egg, caster sugar, soft dark brown, vanilla, flour, cocoa, salt, bicarb, and then chocolate chips. Phew, okay, we are getting there. I can't believe my 128 gigabyte memory cards are not big enough. This is filming in 4K for you. It's supposed to be 100 grams of dark chocolate chips. I think I am just a tiny bit shy here. What does this weigh? I've got 75 grams. I may or may not top that up, I don't know. This is too small a chopping board. Oh, I wrote a blog post on these chopping boards when we switched from plastic to wooden. And these, I think they're called Vada. And they're from IKEA and they're really good. They're so good. I've got 3 of them. Cole's coming down for lunch. I'm going to get this banana bread in though. He can just make lunch around us. Hi. There was a little bit of tension earlier over the technology. Right, what are you making for lunch?
So Apple's got this really neat feature which shares the clipboard between your devices. So if you copy something on your phone, it's then available to your Mac.
Okay, so the point of this is the 120 gigabyte file that I copied then appeared on your...
Well, so it was trying to copy that to my clipboard on my machine. So that's a bit of a silly feature, really, isn't it?
Well, I feel like, did you enable it? Or was it just on by default?
It's on by default, so it'll be on your Mac.
Ooh, well. Really? All right. I am hungry. Right. How's your day going?
Fine. Other than you locked out my computer.
When I was copying the files, I slowed Cole's work computer down. So I'm working off a 2018 MacBook with an Intel... Pipe down over there. Use scissors. I'm working off a 2018 MacBook with an Intel processor. And I would really love to buy a... Wait for the plastic to finish. I would really love to buy a refurbished Mac Studio. And Cole has written a script for me that I can run every so often to check if any come up, because they're quite rare. And I'm after a very specific amount of memory and capacity. But yeah, they are expensive. I don't care about the chip. M3, M4 doesn't matter, but the memory and the hard drive are important.
Well, the chip is important.
Yeah, but I just think whatever I get, M3, M4, is going to be enough.
So long as it's an Ultra or a Max or whatever.
Yeah. But I think with that sort of spec, it will be. Right, I think this will be enough chocolate. I'll save a bit back for the top. Now I'll just fold the dry ingredients into the wet. How are my batteries doing? Right. I think I'm supposed to oil this tin. No, I just say line it with greaseproof paper. Lakeland stuff is quite non-stick. I think I'll oil it. It'll be really sad if it sticks and doesn't come out properly. Okay, so I have mixed the wet ingredients quite thoroughly, and then the dry, and then I'll do that thing like with muffins where I don't combine them too much. The oven has preheated. Still haven't got the fan fixed.
How long am I going to be saying that for?
Probably until we get a new oven. Right, in with most of the chocolate chunks. What soup are we having?
Your favourite?
Pea and mint. Cole doesn't really like pea and mint, but I do. We don't have it very often. We must be down to not many soups for him to have chosen pea and mint. Right, look at this batter. I don't know if this is true, but I have read that olive oil can deteriorate a non-stick coating, so I'm just using a bit of vegetable oil. Take out that little bit of paper. Just getting into the corners. I think a lot of the time I don't bother to oil tins and it's fine, but it's just sod's law that the day I'm filming the loaf will then stick and won't look very nice. This is such a great recipe, I want to do it justice. Okay. So just a little bit of greaseproof paper in the bottom. Oh, Nigel. A wild Nigel appears. Oh, I need sesame seeds for the top, and it'll bake for 45 to 50 minutes. Right, so I'll just get it in the oven and then we'll eat and then I'll come back. When I first made this, I wasn't sure if the tahini would be a bit weird. It's not at all. It's wonderful. I feel like you don't taste it all that much. I can still see chunks of banana. I didn't mash it so it was really, really smooth. Okay, chocolate on top. 1 to 2 teaspoons of sesame seeds. I'm using a mixture of black and white just because I've got them. I'm concentrating them in the middle just because as the loaf rises, they will then spread out. All right, into the oven with you. Oh, the shelf is in the wrong place. Just going to let that heat up again. Bit of an issue with the shelf. "35 minutes until bread." The dal is looking good. Right, it's going in. Can't wait. 45 minutes on the timer. I'm going to eat some lunch and then I'll be back. I'd really hoped to finish all this before lunch, but no such luck. Okay, back in a bit. Okay, I've just had some lunch. Wasn't really enough, but I'll eat more in a bit. Okay, what I'm going to do now, the banana tahini chocolate loaf, excuse me, is in the oven. 35 minutes to go. We've got 22 minutes to go with the bread. I think I'm going to finish off this dal. I know I said earlier I was just going to leave it all the way up until dinner, but yeah, we do have some room in the fridge. So I'm going to finish it off now, put it in the fridge, and then I'm going to pressure cook some eggs. I wish I thought of this earlier, because ideally you would pressure cook them at room temperature, but I've done them from fridge cold before. They're absolutely fine. Something I'm finding with the pressure cooked hard boiled yet still jammy yolked eggs is that, well, first of all, I've done a video on this. When I follow 555, it really overcooks the eggs. So I tend to do 2 or 355. All right, I'll show you what this is looking like. my friend has booked Bun X for us on Saturday. We're going for a burger. Wonderful. Oh, I'm going with him and his girlfriend. Oh, I can't wait. I'm really excited. I've heard good things about these burgers. Lovely. Okay. We're going to need salt, lime, coriander, maybe some spinach. I need more chopping boards. Right, I know it needs more salt, so I'm going to do that first. Might as well get some lime in there. I've got 2 wrinkly limes and 1 absolutely dreadful one, so that's a shame. Give them a wash. I know when they're old they go a bit bitter, but I think these will be fine. Oh, where are you? I mean, I could go in with lemon. I've got more lemons, but I just really like lime in this. Okay, well, oh, that was my chocolate knife. Whoops. Gosh, it'll be fine. Right. Sometimes it's really tempting to just, if you've cut 2, to use 2, but you might want to stop after 1.5. Otherwise, it isn't as balanced. The flavours aren't as balanced. Keeps squirting my bin. Oh yeah, last time when I made this video, I had moved my bread maker away from the window and I wasn't sure how it would be, but yeah, it's really good. Really good over there. Let's see what we get in 16 minutes with this loaf as well. Oh. For lunch, I used a chopping board as a plate. Right, I'm going to get my flavoursome things in and then have a taste and adjust the seasoning. Sometimes you don't need more salt, sometimes you need more acid. I don't want to over salt. It's looking very nice and creamy with 0 cream. Right, coriander or cilantro. I really love fresh herbs, but I just find that they do wilt, and even when I dry them properly and store them in an airtight container, I'm going in with quite a lot. So I've taken to freezing them. I've been doing this for years, and you can't use frozen. Let me just. You can't use them to finish a dish because they go, well, you'll see when I chop them. But they work really well in soups and stews and things. The stalks are absolutely fine. They're very welcome here. When they're frozen, I try not to chop them too much because then they start to get all soggy and wilt into the chopping board. Just enough to get the big stalks a bit smaller, and that will do. Back of the knife, don't worry. Yeah, so if you're quick about it, you don't get too much wastage. And the great thing about frozen herbs is they just last for absolutely ages in the freezer. They're just months and months. Okay. Right. Purely because I don't want to waste time, I'm going to switch back to saute and get some frozen spinach in there. I mean, if I were just going to leave this, if I didn't need the Instant Pot, I would stick the frozen spinach pucks in there and then just let them slowly heat up. But I want this Instant Pot for eggs. I should get the eggs out of the fridge. I am going to boil 6. Oh, they're very different sizes. Because that's what I've got the most energy to peel. No more than 6. The only thing I find is quite hard to judge how much spinach to use when they're frozen, when it's frozen like this. That's a big one. Woo! I'm gonna go with 4. Spinach isn't in the recipe, but I just want a bit more green in there. Okay. Oh yeah, I haven't put saute on. I explained previously that I just do give the Instant Pot a few minutes between switching functions. Temperature, I think we'll go for 2. Oh, I have no idea how my t-shirt's faring. Right, I'll just check the recipe. Oh yeah, I was going to put fresh tomatoes in there too. Oh, I don't know if I can be bothered. No, I think I'm going to leave it. I think we'll just have a little taste now. Excuse me. Let's make sure to get some split peas in there. I don't want to burn my mouth. It's good. I think it needs more lime, maybe a touch more salt, but not too much more salt. More lime. I don't know if it needs a whole lime, we shall see. Right. Oh, I just got the email to say Cole's picked up my stuff. That's so nice of him. He will go for a walk anyway. He always does after meals to get his blood sugars down because he's type 1 diabetic. I feel like I mention that all the time. It's a huge part of our lives though. We think about it constantly. So I'm probably going to mention it constantly. Diabetes, type 1 diabetes, I'm sure type 2 too. I don't know much about type 2, but it's just, it's always there. So he goes for a walk. It was very kind of him to include an in-post locker on his walk. It's about 10 minutes away. All right, let's have another taste. I'm not going to double dip, don't worry. I will drip dal onto the spoon. I mean, it doesn't matter, it's just me and Cole, but I just think that's a good habit to get into, not double dipping for if I ever want to serve other people. I feel like I should ask in the Kitchen Confidential subreddit, do chefs double dip? Because in Boiling Point, the film with Stephen Graham, the longer one, he kept going back for the lemon curd and I was really like, oh, he's put that in his mouth. I'm probably really naive. I'm sure it happens all the time. It just doesn't quite seem right to me though. Okay. Right, I've still got blocks of spinach in there. You can always season this later as well, but it's good to get the seasoning in now, get it throughout the dish. It's holding its shape on a spoon. I feel like that might be enough lime. Just check my recipe. Juice from half a lime. Add more lime juice if needed. That's quite vague, isn't it? A little bit more salt, just a bit. Oh, that's the bread. Let's see what we've got. It is smelling nice, but it's hard to smell it over the dal. Okay. Oh, wow. I've got a good rise. It probably won't stay that way, but it's domed. I will show you. Okay, that is the best rise I've ever had with rye. It is rye and white. Do not drop me. Oh. Really pleased with that. Yes, yes, yes. Right, pipe down you. I'm not celebrating. Just that the wine glasses are in the way with the bread maker in its new home. You can just see it needs a bit of a wipe. I'll let it cool down. Oh, rye and stout. I knew it wouldn't let me down. I've been baking 100% rye loaves recently, and the recipe out of the manual comes out really sunken. And then if I reduce the water in the yeast, still sunken, but a bit less. But this is looking nice. Okay. Focus. Right. The spinach has unfurled. Just going to give it another taste. I had a little tidy up over lunch, so I've reclaimed some space. And the split peas they're not super, super soft. They've got a little bit of bite, but they are cooked through. I don't want anything not cooked. Oh gosh, just going to check 50% battery. I think that'll be fine for the eggs. I'm just leaving that for 5 minutes or so because I know if I try and shake it out now, it won't come out. It just needs a little bit of time. That's a nice looking loaf. I haven't seen a domed one in ages. Oh, I'm well excited about the stout aspect of it. Hot. It's really good. I don't think it needs that extra lime. I just want the lime to sort of lift all the flavours, but I don't want to eat this and think, oh, it's limey. Maybe you could squeeze on a bit when I serve it if it needs it. Then once you get the yogurt and the chutneys, the bread, oh, it's going to be lovely. Right. Yep, there we go. That's quite cute. Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
You got meetings now?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So this is my biggest bowl. I will decant, and then my neighbour bought this round yesterday, the beeswax wraps. So I might have a go with those. I've never used them before. Oh, I'm really pleased with that little loaf. Okay. Normally Cole would help lift up a handle, and let's see how I go on my own. Maybe if I pour away from me, and I find if I put a spoon in there, if I sort of pour onto the spoon, it stops it splattering as much. It's splattering. Yeah, it did splatter a bit. Not too bad though. Oh, it's lovely having two inner pots. Right, I will let you cool for a bit. And then have a go with this beeswax wrap. Ah, that's the tahini loaf. So what I'm going to do is just take the internal temperature. I'll do it here. Hold on. I'm looking for 93. I'm going to go right into the middle. Ooh, yeah, it's still a bit damp. I mean, that's okay, but the chocolate chips have melted. They're not looking they're not looking square shaped. 85. Ooh, I think 87. I will convert this to Fahrenheit in a sec. Come on, 89. I really 192. I feel like it needs another 5 to 8 minutes. Right, let's get it back in there. Stay. Let's get it back in. I could just feel as the skewer went in, it's quite soft inside. Okay, Instant Pot eggs. I have got my trivet. In you go. Oh, microphone. Right, in with the eggs. Oh. Give them a bit of space. In with 1 cup of water. So, oops, 250 ml. I'm going to go for, because they're fridge cold eggs and I haven't used room temperature water, it's a little chilly out the tap, not too chilly. I'm going to go for 3 minutes, I think. 3 minutes. I can't remember if I do low or high. I need to check my blog post. I will do, oh, low pressure. I've cooked these recently. 3 minutes low and a quick vent. Right. Aha. Okay. Check the sealing ring. Oh, I said I wasn't going to pressure cook today, and that was a lie. Sealing ring, water. Go. Wait for the banana bread. Right, let's check out this beeswax wrap by Frida. Handmade in Dorset. Oh, we're going to Dorset in July. A little holiday. Not suitable for use with raw meat or fish. Not a problem. Can't use if you're allergic to beeswax, pine resin or coconut oil. What do you do with it? Hope you enjoy using them as much as I did making them. Oh. Okay. Oh, they're really pretty. I think I need a big one. Oh, got like a yellow gingham, a really sweet strawberry print. Can I show you? Strawberry. see what I mean? Not good at displaying things to the camera. How hard is it? There we go. And a bee print. Okay, I'm going to go with the big one. Oh, bless you. I feel a bit silly. I don't know what to do. Oh, it just sort of moulds. That's quite good. Can you hear Clifford? Clifford the dog. I feel like if it could go underneath, it would keep its shape, but because I've used the world's most giant bowl, it is struggling. I'm going to tie it with a bit of string. Stop fighting me. I feel like that's come up to pressure quite quickly today. Sometimes it takes a little while. And then the eggs overcook. I do like them jammy in the middle. Right, thank you to my neighbour Claire. These are lovely. Splattered my glass. About 37 seconds until the loaf is hopefully done. Can't really cut into the bread until it's cooled a bit. Is that an air pocket? Don't know. Because if you cut into bread when it's still warm, the crust can go gummy. I just need to be patient. What now? I'm going to show you the kitchen. I did have a little bit of a tidy up. It's not too bad. Oh, hold on. I bet that's done now. Must remember to turn the oven off. Go on the other side. No, go more in the middle. Go. Yeah, there's just a bit more give now. You probably can't see that. 88. Okay, we've hit 93. 95. Ideally it'd be under 100. Yeah, 96. That's definitely cooked. It still feels all squidgy though. Okay, yeah, that's fine. And that is about 203. Pressure cooking has begun. 3 minutes. Oh, the sun's come out. Let's leave you to cool. Hot. I will show you the kitchen in a sec. Ooh, just trying to arrange another lunch as well with someone who's leaving soon. That's always sad. Right, but she's going on to exciting things, so I'm pleased for her. Gym buddy. Right, skewer 93. For the vegan version of this chocolate bread, the skewer won't come out clean even at 97 degrees C. Let the loaf cool in its tin, although the non-vegan version can be removed while still warm. Okay, I'm going to leave it for a bit. And yeah, let me show you the state of the kitchen, which is not too bad. Right, wait for the eggs. I should prepare an ice bath for them. Oh, turn the oven off. Oh, racket. Is that everything? Dal, bread, banana bread, and bonus eggs. We are going to be sorted this bank holiday weekend coming up. I said in the last, excuse me. We'll let it do its thing. Doesn't take very long. Thank you. So I said in the last video, was it also a bank holiday weekend coming up then as well? And said we were going to have an internet-free weekend. Now that didn't happen, and with good reason. She's totally fine, but my mother-in-law went into hospital unexpectedly. She's A-OK. But we felt like we needed to be contactable, so we didn't do the thing where we turned our router off. But we've got that planned for Sunday and Monday coming up. And we haven't made loads of plans yet, but we have booked to go to the Dabbling Duck, a pub. It's about an hour away from here, and we will go for a walk beforehand. And their menu just looks really interesting. I'm excited about that. One of Cole's cricket buddies took them there after last week's game, which the first game they won this season. And he said it was a really nice pub. And this guy, he and his wife go out and find all these really great pubs. Oh, I can't remember the name of the other one. It's like, they've got funny names. But anyway, Cole took a picture of the menu and I was like, yes, we should go there. So that's Monday. And I think everybody in the UK is excited for this bank holiday weekend because the weather's supposed to be good. We shall see. It's been absolutely miserable this week. And today is the first sort of sunny / cloudy day. I'll take it. Right. All right, let those cool. Oh, what can I tidy up? Right, let's get these bad boys peeled. So I'm gonna break the bottom end where there's an air bubble. And just, let's see how these peel. Yeah, oh God, this is tedious. I just want to peel one as and when I want one, but then I just cannot stand all that egg white coming off with the shell. By the time you've peeled the egg, there's almost nothing left, so just need to suck it up and do it now. And I've got the time today. All I'm planning to do today is this. Yeah, I've discovered you don't want to leave the membrane on the egg. That's not very nice. Ooh, we're at 19%. You probably won't watch me peel 6 eggs, but we might as well just keep going. Why not? So I'm thinking, I haven't checked yet, but I'm thinking maybe we'll go to the cinema this weekend. There's a couple of horror films I fancy watching. Obsession. I think I've missed Hokum with Adam Scott. And then Backrooms maybe. They all sound quite interesting. I've avoided the trailers in case they give away too much. I do really enjoy horror. Is enjoy the right word? I'm always gravitated towards horror movies. I don't know why. But I find you get different kinds as well. So I'm not as into, say, Saw. I thought the first one was very good. I like the really sort of psychological dark ones. I really loved Ari Aster's first 2. Hereditary just blew me away. And Midsommar too. Midsommar's just set in this gorgeous bright sunshine, although apparently you never see the sun. And oh, what a film. Oh, it's got Will Poulter in too, Florence Pugh. Oh, it's so good. Oh, the white's coming away. Oh, this has not peeled brilliantly. Oh, egg, what are you doing? We'll eat you in a bit. Oh, I love them with ketchup mayonnaise. So I said earlier, I'll eat anything apart from margarine. It took me a very long time to get used to egg white. I love egg yolk, but not so much egg white. And but I'll eat it now, whereas before I wouldn't really eat it. And just a little bit of soy sauce or ketchup mayonnaise. Oh, so good. Right, let's see if one of these eggs peel better. Apparently, the less fresh they are, the better they peel, but these eggs are a couple of weeks old. Oh, I'm just going to get a Tupperware to put them into. Ooh, 19 minutes left on the memory card. Oh, I'm going to have to buy bigger memory cards. Or just make shorter videos. No, don't want to do that. This is peeling better. Just this last little bit. Right, smooth egg. All right, I'm running very low on battery, and perhaps watching a woman peel 6 eggs is, I don't know, not the best viewing. It is 20 to 3, doing better than last time. I will get footage of the food as and when we eat it over the next few days, so you can see like the dal is quite versatile. And yeah, we'll have the bread for breakfast, I'm sure. And yeah, chocolate tahini bread, always a treat. All right, thank you so much for joining me. See you in the next video.